Have you ever noticed how some people shift an entire room without raising their voice? They don't argue. They don't explain. They pull back. And suddenly the atmosphere changes. People lean in. They get uneasy. They start chasing clarity. That's not weakness. That's power. Now imagine doing the same. Not reacting to everything. Not answering every message. Choosing silence instead of reflex. Distance instead of explosion. What do you think would happen? Here's the truth. When you stop being endlessly available emotionally, mentally, physically, the world around you panics. Because people are used to managing you through your reactions, through how predictable you are. The moment you withdraw, the rules change. Those who thought they knew you realize they never did. Carl Jung said that what irritates us in others is often our own unconscious exposed. So ask yourself this. When you become less accessible, who gets angry? Who pushes harder? Who tries to provoke a response just to feel in control again? That reaction isn't about you. It reveals how much of your energy was being used without your consent. You say yes to keep the peace. You respond immediately so no one feels uncomfortable. You explain yourself like you owe the world something. And every time you do, you give away a piece of your strength. What's left at the end of the day? Fatigue, quiet resentment, a hollow feeling you can't quite name. This isn't about abandoning the world. It's about choosing yourself. Jung called it individuation becoming whole instead of performative. Silence, when chosen consciously, is stronger than 1,000 explanations. Withdrawal isn't escape when it comes from awareness. It's authority. You were taught that your value depends on availability. Be reachable, be agreeable, be useful. But excessive availability isn't virtue. It's a trap. When you're always accessible, you become predictable. And anything predictable becomes a tool. People press you when they need comfort, validation, distraction, and put you back when they're done. You think being present for everyone will make someone show up for you. It doesn't. Jung warned about the persona, the mask we wear to be liked. That mask is what keeps you drained. You say, "It's fine," when it isn't. You reply when you're exhausted. You justify your absence as if it needs permission. And slowly, you disappear from your own life. Being constantly available is a quiet form of self-abandonment. People who demand access to you don't necessarily want you. They want what you provide. And the moment you stop providing, they accuse you of changing. Not because you did, but because you stopped functioning for them. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The more available you are, the less you're valued. Nothing earns respect when it costs nothing. So ask yourself this. Who actually deserves your attention? And who deserves your absence? Jung spoke about psychic energy. Every reaction costs you something. Every pointless defense, every emotional argument, every attempt to prove yourself. That energy doesn't come back. People who are emotionally exhausted aren't weak. They're misdirected. And exhaustion makes you vulnerable. Manipulative people sense it instantly. A healthy psyche knows how to hold its energy. It knows when to say no, when to stay silent, when to observe instead of engage. Real power isn't reacting. It's choosing when not to. Your triggers show you where your energy leaks. That's the work. Not becoming cold, but becoming selective. When you stop reacting, projections collapse. People no longer know who you are because they were never seeing you, only the role you played. Your silence forces them to face themselves, and many can't tolerate that. That's when the criticism starts, the drama, the guilt. Not because you're wrong, but because you stopped being convenient. Jung said we don't grow by imagining light, but by making darkness conscious. Withdrawal exposes shadows, yours and theirs. Silence is not absence, it's mastery. It removes narrative control from those who fed on your reactions. Yes, silence has a price. You will lose people who only valued your utility. You will be misunderstood, but you'll gain something rarer than approval: inner sovereignty. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Every word is an energetic investment. Silence doesn't just disturb others, it rebuilds you. When you stop explaining yourself, respect follows even if it comes from fewer people. And that's the point. Depth requires distance. Conscious unavailability isn't arrogance, it's self-determination. Small acts change everything. Pausing before responding, leaving conversations that drain you, turning off your phone without guilt, saying no without justification. You don't owe explanations for protecting your peace. Jung knew individuation requires isolation, not loneliness. Sacred retreat, a return to your own voice. Watch who distances themselves when you become quieter. Watch who provokes you when you stop reacting. Those aren't losses, they're confirmations. At first, guilt will surface. You'll feel selfish. That's conditioning breaking. Discomfort is part of liberation. When you say no to chaos, you say yes to yourself. When you stop accepting emotional scraps, your presence becomes rare. And yes, you may walk alone for a while. But in that solitude, clarity replaces anxiety. Strength replaces need. You stop reacting and start creating. You weren't meant to be available to everyone. You were meant to be whole. So ask yourself honestly, are you ready to be misunderstood in exchange for inner freedom? Ready to lose roles to find yourself? If this resonated, write in the comments. I choose my peace.